Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Today, I'm ranking the top 25 members of the Alabama Crimson Tide going into the season after fall camp. And remember, to get your free 30 days to BamaInsider.com, go to the website, hit the subscription tab, and enter that promo code ROLLTIDE. Make sure you enter that promo code, free 30 days. We kick off number 25, Christian Harris. What a fall camp he's had. Really emerged as one of the top freshmen from the class of 2019, already working his way up to that starting spot. Looks like he's going to be the guy next to Dylan Moses. And who would have thought that coming into the 2019 season? Big boy, 6'2", 244 pounds, really has emerged as a guy to watch from the class of 2019. It's going to be interesting to see what he does as a freshman next Saturday as Alabama takes on Duke in the opener. At number 24, you got Josh Jobe, and what a pleasant surprise that he was towards the end of the 2018 season. Really saw him starting to develop into a major corner, and it looks like this year he's going to be that starting role when Alabama goes into that nickel package as they switch Patrick Surtain out to that nickel, and I think that says a lot about Josh Jobe. So look for him to have a big season, big sophomore season, really someone that Alabama is excited about. What's not to like about Emil Ekiyor? We have him number 23 in our rankings. He's going to get on the field plenty, 6'3", 323 pounds with one of the best pushes out of all the linemen. He's going to see plenty of playing time this year. You got 6'3", 315-pound Chris Owens, who's had a great fall camp. It looks like he's emerging as the team center, and it looks like he's going to get the start against Duke. Nick Saban has had a lot of positive praise about Owens this fall camp, and he started in the last two scrimmages at that center position. Landon Dickerson has been a welcome to Alabama from Florida State, grad transfer, big boy, 6'3", 308 pounds, and I think everyone's really been impressed with his athleticism and just his overall push off the football. I know Florida State fans felt that he was one of their best offensive linemen when he was healthy. He's been injury plagued, but at Alabama so far, he's done a great job really fitting into this offensive line under Kyle Flood, and everyone has really been excited about what he's bringing to the table. Actually, he's been working at guard and center for the Crimson Tide, so very versatile offensive lineman. Jared Mayden checks in at number 20, 6 foot, 205 pounds, veteran for this defensive secondary group. And you got to like the combination with Jared Mayden and Xavier McKinney in the secondary. I think that provides a lot of leadership, a lot of stability under Charles Kelly, who's a new safeties coach. I think you're going to see great things from Jared Mayden. I know he has some big shoes to take over from Deontay Thompson, but I think Jared Mayden is more than capable to have a strong season. Number 19, you got 6'7", 360-pound Evan Neal, who has just been phenomenal straight up during the springtime and in fall camp. Looks like he's going to start at the left guard position for the Crimson Tide. Look at that. Imagine going against Evan Neal all game long. No, thank you. That's a true freshman at Alabama. Yeah, 5-star going to 5-star. How about this guy? DJ Dell, ranked number 18 in our ranking, 6'3", 308 pounds. Started to work his way onto the starting defense actually during the springtime, which is phenomenal. And during fall camp, he suffered a sprained knee, but it looks like he's back to 100% or should become the game against Duke. And he's another guy who has big shoes to fulfill, replacing Quentin Williams. But you're not going to see too much of a drop off because DJ Dell is certainly going to bring it. Brian Robinson at number 17, 6'1", 226 pounds. Now enters his junior season. Last year only had 63 carries for 272 yards with 2 touchdowns. Even Nick Saban said that wasn't enough for Brian Robinson last year. I think it's a guy who could have a potential breakout year, be one of the best running backs in all of college football. Has the size, has the speed, has the determination, has really kept quiet, has just minded his business and just kept his head down, really respect his game. And I think all of college football is going to know about Brian Robinson soon enough. I know everyone in Tuscaloosa does, as he's right out of Hillcrest, Alabama. He can catch a football out of the backfield. He's a big, imposing back, puts his head down. So watch for Brian Robinson. Big things expected for him in 2019. Patrick Surtain. As we said, the apple doesn't fall from the tree, meaning his dad played in the league and Patrick Surtain's going to play in the league one day as well. Number 16 in our rankings. He's a defensive back, very versatile. Last year, he played only corner. This year, looks like he's going to play some corner as well as that nickel position. And I like that because he's a big boy, 6'2", 203 pounds, and I think he can line up with some of those more athletic wide receivers or tight ends should Alabama face any of those guys, and he's going to do his thing. He was a great open field tackler last year as well. Trayvon Diggs, another veteran of this defensive secondary unit. He's a senior now, 6'2", 207 pounds, a big corner, and I like that Alabama has big physical corners. Entering his senior year, I think with a lot to prove after suffering a foot injury last year, only had 20 tackles with 1 interception. He's got a lot of veteran experience. He can line up on pretty much any wide receiver because of his size, and I think he has great speed, and he's a playmaker. He has good hands. Remember, he used to be a wide receiver when he first arrived at Alabama. You have Devontae Smith, number 14 ranking overall, 6'1", 195 pounds, enters his junior year. He's a very dangerous player. You get the football to him, he's going to make the catch. He's very sticky. All these wide receivers are, and Devontae Smith has proved he's clutch. He's obviously super athletic, and I think he's a guy that you cannot sleep on. You have to know where Devontae Smith is because he's going to make a ton of plays this year. LeBron Ray, I think when you talk breakout players for the 2019 season on the defensive side of the football, you have to mention his name. I think we all know what he's capable of. My question is, right now, entering the season, as you can see, looks a little bit hampered by that injury that he suffered to his ankle during the summertime. So I'm curious to see when he gets 100%. Right now, going into this Duke game, I wouldn't say he's quite there, but I think when he gets 100%, he's going to do big things for Alabama. At the tackle position, you have Jedrick Wills. Last year started all 15 games at the right tackle position, brings a lot of experience, great push off the line. I think he's an All-American, right? I mean, and clearly he's been demonstrating that in practice. And as you practice, that's how you play. Jedrick Wills, no problem there. And then right next to him, number 11, you got offensive tackle on the other side, 6'6", 310-pound Alex Leatherwood. Both those guys were 5-star. And I think those guys certainly anchor this offensive line unit. So it was kind of just a question to fill in the middle, but they've certainly done that. So Alex Leatherwood, very impressive prospect going into probably the NFL drafts. At the number 10 spot, you have Anthony Jennings, 6'3", 259 pounds, 50 tackles last year. 13 of those were lost. I don't think a lot of people realize that, with 5.5 sacks. Very athletic, and I think when you talk top edge rushers in college football, you got to mention his name along with Terrell Lewis, who we'll talk about in a minute. Henry Ruggs, ranked number 9. Very, very dangerous wide receiver. He's been a touchdown machine ever since he arrived from Montgomery to Tuscaloosa. 46 receptions last year, 741 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's actually probably the fastest wide receiver as well. I think he topped out at 25 miles per hour last year in a game against Missouri. He's very strong as well, freakishly strong. He's probably the best blocker out of that receiving core. So I think Henry Ruggs is a player that will be here probably just one more season and then exit out to the NFL. He's just that talented. How many receivers are going to be on this list, right? Well, you got a couple more. You got Jalen Waddle as a freshman last year, 45 receptions, 848 yards with 7 touchdowns. In my opinion, he's the most dangerous player in all of college football. You got to get him touches. I know people are talking about Rondale Moore from Purdue. Jalen Waddle, better than Rondale Moore. Note that. Terrell Lewis enters his redshirt junior season, 6'5", 252 pounds. Everyone's excited to see what he can do when he's healthy and if he stays healthy. He's been hampered by injuries the last 2 seasons, but as you can see, he looks 100% going into this year. He's going to be one of the top pass rushers in all of college football. Quarterbacks, beware. Najee Harris, ranked number 6, 6'2", 230 pounds. When you talk about big-time running backs in college football, you have to mention this guy's name at the top of the list. Last year, 783 yards off 117 carries. Probably could have hit the 1,000-yard mark if he would have got, 25, 50 more carries. He's a very dangerous player. I think he adds a great element out of the backfield because he can catch the football so well. Steve Sarkisian said his philosophy starts with run first. Najee Harris about to get his in 2019. Xavier McKinney, a guy who was a defensive MVP of last year's Orange Bowl, returns with a great amount of experience. He's a veteran of that secondary unit. He's a playmaker. He can hit. He knows the entire defense. He's a leader. When you talk alpha males and guys who just quite simply lead by example, Xavier McKinney is certainly a guy that continues to demonstrate that. And he's another guy who's going to be in the NFL sooner or later. The number 4 spot, Dylan Moses. And as I just said, you want to talk alpha males? This young man proved that he's the alpha male during SEC Media Day. Said he's all about perfection, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but on the offensive side. So I think Pete Golding has a really great one in Dylan Moses. Number 3, Raekwon Davis, 6'7", 312 pounds. Last year only had 1.5 sack, if you can believe that, 55 tackles. But I think this year coming in the season, he knows what's at stake. He knows he has to step up for this defensive line. And I think from what I've seen with him working with Brian Baker, you're going to really get that from Raekwon Davis. I think he showed great leadership during the fall camp, and I think he showed that he's improved from an athletic standpoint. So Raekwon Davis slated for a monster year. Jerry Jeudy, number 2 ranking. I mean, this young man might be just the overall best player in college football if it wasn't for Tua Tagovailoa, who we're going to talk about next. Everything that Jerry Jeudy does is to perfection. He practices with 110% effort every single time. Stickiest hands in all of college football. Great after the catch, playmaking ability. Jerry Jeudy is that type of player that just comes around every so often. And I know Alabama has had receiver greats, but I think he's going to take it to the next level just because of the combination between him and Tua Tagovailoa. At the number 1 spot, no surprise, Tua Tagovailoa, who enters his junior season, 6'1", 218 pounds. He's lost weight. He's feeling comfortable. He's a fan favorite. He does the right things. He's great in the community. And I think with Steve Sarkisian as the offensive coordinator, you're going to see Tua Tagovailoa really excel. He's had some incredible velocity in his football. This fall camp, I think he's really improved on his arm strength. He's improved on his downfield progression from what we've heard. And, I mean, there's no quarterback that can spin it like Tua Tagovailoa. And with the arsenal of weapons that he has, who knows what he's capable of? I mean, last year he threw for just under 4,000 yards with 43 touchdowns. He was a playmaker, and I think he has a lot to prove coming off that loss to Clemson in the national title game. No surprise, Tua Tagovailoa, the number 1 rated player. Just watch this dime that he's going to throw right here, and I think that says it all about his ability to really get that football to where it needs to be. Thank you very much for watching today. Please be sure and like and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, all the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. We got you covered. It's just a couple more days away between Alabama and Duke. Go to the website and treat yourself. 30 days free to BamaInsider.com. Remember, the promo code is simply Roll Tide. I'm coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Catch all the coverage back on BamaInsider.com. We'll see you soon.